I'm Ido, the co-founder of 1290 square meters in Istanbul.
And I'm Ali, his partner. Today we are talking to you guys above Louis Vuitton, Fendi, and the Dior shop that's just underneath us. When we saw this space, we loved it because it has no foot traffic. We are still kind of hidden, and we can still be a destination shop as we always wanted to be.
And it was in a terrible shape.
And it was in a very terrible shape.
Which gave us the opportunity to strip everything down and create something
from scratch.
We wanted.
And when that happened, when we signed the contract, the first question we asked ourselves was, great, how can we get some soul, some authenticity, and some streetness into this made-up world here? And the answer to our own question was to not work with architectures, but instead work with artists. So today we're going to show you a space that we worked on for the past 6 months with 4 artists, and those 4 artists created 11 art pieces for this space that makes this space what it is today.
What are we? Are we artists or like curators? Or what are we? We are.
I think we are collaborators.
We're collaborators. Okay.
We were in Paris with the Fashion Week, and we had an appointment with one of the brands that we work with. We basically left the appointment because we got so excited about calling Delta. His real name is Boris Tellegen, who is a Dutch artist, a friend. And I remember Ido was like, dude, you know, you're crazy. Do you know how much money he's going to ask us?
By the way, this is how these things go between our partnership. I'm the shy guy from Amsterdam, and he's being more Turkish than he was before by believing that anything is possible at any time. So he kind of like pushed me to call Delta, and we called, and you can tell the story.
And then Delta picked up because he was biking in Amsterdam. He's like, yeah, I have time for you guys. And Ido was like, Delta, Boris, I have my Turkish partner next to me. He wants to ask you something. So the moment I got on the phone with him, I basically told him, brutally honest, that we are moving into a space which we are challenging ourselves to create a unique space within something that's made up. And I said, we need your creativity, collaboration, and involvement to make it something authentic and unique. And we asked, would you be interested? And the first thing he said is, yeah, of course. And we were like, oh, great. Delta, we asked him if he could write 1290 SKM on that big wall, only the way he can do it. You can see 1290. That's the entrance to the changing room. And then from here on, you will see SQM and then the very futuristic desk. This is another art piece by Delta, which is, the way I see it is, it's a lying robot where you can sit on the legs and arms. The legs and the arms are made from white concrete. The center part is acrylic with LED lights inside. We didn't stop collaborating with him. As eager and as a passionate fan of Delta I am, I asked him, can we do more stuff? Basically, I said, can we also make an official art piece that we could also sell to friends and family or customers that are a fan of you and maybe would want to buy this as a remembrance for the collaboration that we did. And that's how these pieces came to life. What's amazing is if you look from this angle and you read carefully, it says square. And if you turn it around and you look from the back and you read carefully, it says meters. So the genius he is he solved this thing and he made square meters fit on both sides, and these will be for sale. There are 3 of these. These are concrete. There will be 10 of each, in total 30 art pieces for sale. And we do it in 3 different materials. We do 10 in concrete because the floor is concrete. We will be doing 10 in acrylic because the back wall that he designed for us is in acrylic, which is on display here. And we will be doing 10 glass versions. So the second artist, his name is Tamer Köşeli. He's a Swiss-Turkish guy, born and raised in Switzerland, has very much Swiss precision in all his design and work. That's why we love him. He also designed our logo 7 years ago. And I called Tamer, I said, listen Tamer, we are moving to a new space. It has a massive, it's a massive space. It has a big storefront. And what we want you to do is, we want you to design the floor. I'm born and raised in Holland. And in Holland, the streets are concrete. So what we wanted is, we wanted to give it a bit of a street vibe and feeling within the store. So I said to Tamer, I'm gonna give you 2 measures of concrete stones. One is 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters, and the other is 10 centimeters by 20 centimeters. And from these 2 measures, in a total of 12,900 concrete stones, I want you to design floor graphic. And when I said this to him, he went crazy, because he was like, you know how much work that is, and it's crazy, and it's this and that. And I said, listen, you're the only guy that I know in the world that has the precision and has the craziness to make something out of these 12,900 stones. 3 weeks later, he calls me, he says, I cannot look at my computer screen anymore because of counting all these stones on my screen. But we're happy with what he did, and you can see the floor. It's literally 12,900 stones on the floor. The craziest thing though is the guys that made this, because these stones don't exist. It's not something that you can buy somewhere. So these had to be produced and made all singularly, one by one, for us. And I only had one rule for them, and that was to not break any stone. So just to give you an example, this was the first line that they made. And when they made this first line, you have to imagine, they put the first stone and they placed all the other stones in a good precision next to each other. But when the circle ended, when the circle closed, I told them the last piece of stone should be fitting in that emptiness in exactly millimeter precision. It took them 2.5 months to finish the whole shop. Now I'm standing in front of a 50-meter-long art installation, which is designed by an artist called Bülent Erkmen. He's a 72-year-old graphic designer in Turkey. He designed all the street signs in Istanbul and has done so many more that I cannot name you all these things today. But in my opinion, he's a legendary guy. I asked him, how could we make a 50-meter-long art installation from extra clear museum glass where there is 290 squares in them? Why did we do this? And why did we have the idea with Ido to make this giant glass art installation? It's simple because as a shop, we have a lot of accessories. We have a lot of sneakers, we have a lot of beanies, hats, sunglasses, perfume, bags, socks, all these types of stuff. And what is annoying for a shop like us to have all these accessories is, where do you put all these things and still keep your space very simple? Again, what I wanted was, I didn't want this giant thing to exist from pieces. I said it needs to be one big giant thing where this is the beginning and 50 meters later on, it's the ending. I think we had 10 meetings with 10 different glass factories, and they all rejected to do this project because it was too dangerous. But the way they made this is they laser glued everything from this starting point all the way to 50 meters later on where they ended it. And it took almost 5 weeks for them to finish this whole glass installation. During this process that we designed this together with Blunt Ekman, I would say the relationship that grew in between us is the best thing that ever happened to me while designing the whole shop. I wrote a manifesto, and that manifesto is more something that that's basically who we are, and especially how we do stuff at 1290 together with Ido. So when I wrote that manifesto and I show it around, people got pretty inspired and excited. So I went with that text to Blunt Ekman and I told them, okay, can we find somehow a way that this text is always somewhere in the shop visible for customers to read, but then at the same time is art in itself. He showed me a book of Aisha Ekman, and within that book he showed me an artwork of her where which she made in 2002, and it was a typographic art piece. And he said, this is the way I believe is how you should put this manifesto in your store. So on these two pieces, you see the whole manifesto in English, and on the back two walls of this column, you see them in Turkish. And that's how this art piece came to life. When I went to the meeting with the gallery owner, I saw these two amazing pieces, which are also made by Aisha Ekman. These are made from aluminium. These are the map of that gallery. So if you would be able to fold them back up to a straight paper, you would see the whole layout design of the gallery that she works with. So we are standing in front of our desk, which is designed by Delta. When this thing was finished, we were very happy the way it looked and the futuristic part. And to me, it looked like it was a front piece of an airplane. And I remember I was FaceTiming with Ido, showing him the outcome. And I said to him, hey, wouldn't it be amazing if we could place a very big LED wall behind it, because it has this very narrow front where you can look into the back. And he was like, yeah, sure. And then I started calling all these LED companies to come take measures and give us a budget proposal. And then I learned a lot of stuff about the quality, what it means, 2.5, 1.87, And then the LED factory told us that the best quality in Turkey was 2.5, and then I was like, okay, then we need 1.87. He's like, yeah, but that doesn't exist, but we want that. And we received a budget proposal. I cannot pronounce you whatever the price was, but it was massive. And I called Ido to check if he was okay with this, because it was not planned in our budget at all.
We were way over budget anyway.
We were way over budget anyway, because everything that we did was a continuation of let's make it better, let's make it bigger. And we
also, because everything we have, we need the best screen, right?
Yeah, so but at one point we stopped calculating and we stopped being very scared of whatever the outcome would be, and we said, let's just make the best in our reach. He was like, well, you already ordered the LED wall, right? I was like, no, I just wanted to check if you were okay with the cost. And he's like, yeah, of course, let's do it. And I was like, holy shit. After I hung up, I was like, I don't think nowhere in the world there are two partners that can spend so much money on one LED wall
in a couple of seconds.
In a couple of seconds, without even planning on or organizing. But I think that shows just the way we do whatever we do. I think we are not the two guys that do things with numbers, even with buying products. We do everything on our gut feeling.
We ever had a business plan? Or?
We never had a business plan either. And to be honest, it was one of a million realizations again to have him as a crazy partner, where things flow in between us more than arguing or fighting or decisions or ego. And when the wall came and they installed it, I was very happy with the outcome and I was very happy with the quality, but I was also very excited about finding content to show on that LED wall, because it's this massive thing that shows itself within the space. And today we have 5 video art projects from a Chicago-based artist called Yuk Zhao. And the way I found her is through Hypebeast, because Hypebeast posted a video installation from her. I reached out to her saying, hey, can we show your work on our LED wall with the opening of our new store? And she was a very, very kind person. She helped us a lot. She said, I'm gonna redesign everything, re-edit everything in the measures and the size of your wall, because it has a weird measure. It's 5 meters by 1 meter. So we like to thank her from here as well. She cannot be here at the opening, but we are very happy that she did this hard work for us as well. And that's the art pieces that you see being played in the back.
Mesele şöyle başladı. Ben bu dükkanda satılan çok kavramsal bir ürünü fark ettim. Yani hiçbir yerde bulunmayan, az bulunan bir ürün. Ve oradan ilgimi çekti. Nasıl bu dükkan, nereden düşünmüş bunu diye. Bir Japon ürünü. Ve her noktası çok düşünülmüş ve çok özenle yapılmış bir ürün. Oradan çıktı. Sonra Ali Bey ile tanıştık. Ali Bey bu dükkanı yapıyor ve şöyle dedi, yani bir manifesto yazmış. O sırada da şu sırada hala benim Arter'de bir sergim var. Orada kullandığım ama aslında çok eskiden yaptığım bir yazı tipi var. Bu yazı tipini şöyle oluşturdum. Normal klasik bir daktilonun tuşlarına basarak ve harflere değil işaretlerini kullanarak bir yazı oluşturmuştum. Bu yazıyı kullanarak bu manifestoyu yazmak istedi. Onun üzerine buraya geldik, kararlaştırdık nereye koyalım diye ve bu sütuna koymaya karar verdik. Yani benim buradaki işim bununla ilgili. Benim yazı tipim typeface yani ve Ali Bey'in manifestosu.
Bu süreçte böyle bir yer tasarlamak hiç aklımda yoktu. Hiç böyle bir şey düşünmemiştim. Ali sayesinde bu kadar garip bir işi beraber tasarladık. Yani bu taşların 1290 tane olması, bu şekilde diziliyor olması bir manyaklık bence. Ama bu tasarımın sadece tasarlanması da yetmiyor. Bunun uygulaması da çok önemliydi. Ve Ali bunu çok güzel bir şekilde başardı diyebilirim.
They contacted me about 7 months ago if I wanted to design something for the store here, the new store in Zorlu Center. And I think it's amazing how it turned out. Yeah, I'm really happy with it.